Greetings and welcome to the Rise Up Mama podcast. My name's Vanessa and I help busy women, especially mums, to feel more confident. I do this by showing you simple ways to improve and maintain your health and wellness through positive mindset development. I also show you practical ways of making long-lasting changes around your busy lifestyle. One of my clients said, Vanessa is motivating, supportive, and knows her stuff to be able to guide you. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm on a challenge set by my online marketing coach. The challenge is I have to produce an audio recording every day for 1 year. Today's day 20, so I have actually missed quite a few episodes if you're one of my regular listeners. But do you know what? I'm not going to make excuses. There's loads of things that have happened and I'm back. So today's episode will help you to think about how you can bring positive changes in your life simply by changing your mind. Now, before I go into the depths of the episode, I just want to set the scene. And what it was is when I was in my 20s, I came to realize that thoughts became things. And how did I know this? Well, it was because I really thought about my teenage years. When I was 17, I became a teenage mum. And during that time, I had to stay in a mother and baby unit. But I decided I was going to create a beautiful home for my daughter and myself. My first home coming out of the baby unit was very basic, and it was actually mainly second-hand furniture. So it wasn't the beautiful home that I imagined at all. By the time I had my second offspring, my oldest son, he was born into the same surroundings. And I thought, well, what's going on? Now, I didn't do that much to change the house in a physical sense. However, I really started to imagine myself living the life that I saw myself and my offspring living in. It was a beautiful home. So fast forward, my friend's parents purchased a house in a better area and they were looking for a tenant, and this house was a beautiful home. And a few years later, I moved into another property that they owned, and it was an even more beautiful house with a stunning kitchen. So, like I said, when I was in my 20s, I started to think, how did an unemployed teenage mum upgrade into these beautiful surroundings? At the time, I didn't really comprehend what was going on. But on reflection, I can see how the decision that I made to actually just say, well, I'm going to live somewhere that was beautiful, really helped to pull myself and my offspring into the future that we lived in. And so that's how it happened. I had to become it before I could receive it. So I'm reading a book called Asking It Is Given. It's a fantastic book. I'm reading it for the second time now. It's by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And it teaches you so many lessons on metaphysics. And it reminds us about the art of allowing. As I said, you have to feel it to become it. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the depths of this right now. If you have been in my group coaching and accountability club, then you know we've covered this last week. But I'm just going to briefly let members of the audience who were not with us just hear my thoughts on the self-conscious mind. So the self-conscious mind is only 5% of who you really are. And you're living your life from there. And if you do, it's going to limit you. What we need to do is tap into our subconscious mind. And this is 90% of who you are. And we really have to actually get our heads around that sometimes these two minds are actually heading in opposite directions. And that's why we don't always get what we want. I am going through so much changes, so much transformation, which is internal. It's got to be internal first. And I'm learning to view life through different sunglasses. The subconscious mind thinks in pictures and it doesn't comprehend the difference between fact and fiction. So that's why you must dream yourself into the future. I'm learning that we have enough knowledge. So we have enough knowledge right now to live the life of our dreams. What we're lacking is the self-mastery. And I'm guilty of this myself. I said that right at the beginning of this episode. I'm not going to give you all the reasons why I didn't show up here and keep up my momentum. It happened. And one of the coaches that I'm working with at the moment, he's reminding me that the course that many people and myself at one point in my life was looking for, which is entitled Change My Life in 20 Minutes. Well, that doesn't exist. I'm reading a best-selling book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And this book's fantastic because it helps you to focus on how the small choices that you're making every day really do matter. These decisions matter. So, as I said, Asking It Is Given is a fantastic book. And what that book has really helped me to do is really go through and feel my way into my new life. So yes, it does start with a thought. So that's the asking part. But the it is given is really just having that faith of knowing that the universe conspires to help you. But then I go back to the self-conscious mind. The self-conscious mind is where your ego lives. And I know that my ego is trying to protect me from changing my identity. As I said, I've been stuck on the writing of this episode for days. I actually wanted to quit. I thought, oh my gosh, I just need a new topic. Why can I not finish this topic? I was starting to doubt myself. I was thinking I'm not good enough to be showing up every day to record audios. You know, I've still got such a small list of people on the YouTube, such a small list of people who are listening to me. Why should I bother? And that's what the ego wanted me to think, because your ego is there to protect you. Your ego, as I said, lives in your conscious mind and it only sees the world through duality. So white and black and good and bad and up and down. But you have to push past these thoughts and these feelings, because what happens with your ego is, yes, you will get so far. I was getting my momentum with this audio. And that's what happens. You could use other examples like, how many times have you tried to stop smoking? How many times have you tried to drop a dress size? How many times have you tried to get going with your exercise plan and, you know, be a regular attendee at the gym? That's the ego. You will go so far. And then you will find yourself making excuses. Then you will find yourself either stuck or really back to where you started. So there's so many things, as I said, that I'm going through. And one of them is learning Spanish, which is going really, really well. And I'm doing some fantastic research on a life-changing decision, which is going to include using these language skills. But again, is so many aspects of my mindset to change my life. Am I now kind of like, my ego, is it saying to me, well, what are we doing? I don't, you know, you need to stay here. You need to just, you know, why are you doing these audios? Why are you doing your newsletter? Why are you doing these coaching groups? Go back to what you know. But as I said, you have to push past the ego. So to wrap this up, I'm interested in making daily choices that are going to help me to develop and strengthen my mindset so that I can be on that path to self-mastery, because it's the self-mastery of who you really are. So I'm only sharing from my experience. Developing your mindset is something that you have to focus on daily. There are so many things that I'm doing which are working really well. So the reading in the morning, the meditation I've even put to the morning now, because meditating in the evening, well, the afternoon and in the evening just doesn't work. Doing it in the morning has been fantastic. All of these things do work, but you have to do them regularly. It's all about the choice. Change your mindset to change your life. Thoughts do become things, but actually you need to know exactly what you want, because as I said, the universe does conspire to give you what you want, but you need to, in a sense, go back to the book title of the book, ask and it will be given. Well, what is it that you actually want? You need to know. Bob Proctor, I love this quote of his. You need to keep the main thing the main thing. And by doing that, it really helps you to have that appreciation when, is this my ego trying to stop me from really progressing? And as I said, you will have these thoughts, self-doubt, losing your confidence, losing your memento. It's just the ego. Push past it. Okay? The conscious mind is there to protect. It's thinking of the logical things, but the unconscious mind thinks in pictures and feels through emotion. So I have a vision of my future self, and I'm using personal development and metaphysical tools to help me to work out the details. I hope that this episode has added value to your journey, wherever you are in your journey. I've said it many times on this audio, but I'm going to keep repeating my offer of inviting you into my group called My Happiness Habits. I'm offering you a 14-day trial, and that's because, even the session that I did on Thursday, the breakthroughs that women are having within, I'm going to put it at around 24 to 72 hours. Breakthroughs are happening, changes are happening, but what the group does in terms of accountability is it really will help you to keep going when that ego wants to pull you back. Okay, so I am there as a coach to help you to get clarity. What do you actually want? Then you get to work. But what the community is doing is encouraging and celebrating, and that will help when the ego starts to really grasp, wait a minute, you want to do things differently, you want to change your identity. No, we don't need that. Well, actually, the change of the mindset, I believe, is by programming your subconscious mind to keep the repetition of the thoughts that you want. Help the subconscious mind get to work, because it's not about working out how are you going to do it. It's just being focused on exactly what you want. And this is what the group is doing as well. Keeping you on that path is part of the goals of the group. We will become your cheerleaders. So if you would love to find out more about this, you are going to find a link in the description of this episode. The first stage is really easy. It's just literally completing a short life satisfaction quiz. It's your life. You are the only one who will know how satisfied you are with different areas of your life. Once you've completed that satisfaction quiz, then we have a conversation. It's all done online. It's basically 60 minutes where you're doing the talking, I'm listening, I'm asking you meaningful questions to really get you to think about exactly what you want. After the call, you'll receive an action plan and a goal setting sheet, which again helps you to reflect, put your thoughts onto paper. Then you're invited into the group. You'll be in the group. This is a WhatsApp group for any number of time before the next live group call. We have the call, And that's where the magic happens. Like I said, it's a 14-day trial. So what have you got to lose? You're going to get a breakthrough either way. So I'm just so excited to be able to share this invitation with you. And I'm just looking forward to having that opportunity to sit down with you, get to know you. You'll get to know me a little bit more, and we'll make things happen. So yeah, I hope that this has added value to you, and I look forward to tuning in with you again. As usual, I have no idea what tomorrow's episode is going to be like, but I don't want it to take me literally days to write it. So I've got to get my mojo back because I love doing this podcast, and I really hope that you're enjoying the information that I'm sharing. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.